If you want to build the most muscle in the shortest amount of time without leaving any gains on the table, then this video is for you. In this video, I will explain in detail the most effective training system in terms of progression scheme that you should follow. This progression scheme is the one I have followed since I started going to the gym, and it has played a very big role in achieving my best physique to that day. I have also applied it to many of my clients. It always results in the fastest gains in the shortest amount of time. First, we will discuss key training principles for maximizing muscle growth and clear up misconceptions about progressive overload. Then we will go over the different progression schemes and explain which one you should follow to get the best results in the shortest amount of time. Additionally, I will show you exactly how to implement it into your training routine step by step. And at the end, I will give you a bonus tip, which is 10 key points to get the most out of your training. So be sure to stick around until the end of the video. First, in order to keep building muscle and getting stronger, we need constantly increase the challenge we place on our bodies during training. If we do the same workout every week with the same weight, sets and reps, our bodies will adapt and we will stop making progress, as there won't be any more stimulus for growth or a change. That is why training needs to progressively become more challenging over time. This is what makes it progressive. This concept is known as progressive overload. Now, here is the biggest misconception. Many people think that increasing the weight on the bar is the only way to apply progressive overload. However, it is not true. If it were that simple, anyone who trained for 10 years and increased the weight every session would eventually be lifting thousands of kilos, which is clearly impossible. There are many other ways to achieve progressive overload, such as increasing the load, which is the weight, increasing the number of reps, increasing the number of sets, increasing the range of motion, or increasing effort, which is training closer to failure, or just improving technique. If you can improve any of these areas, you are giving your body the stimulus it needs to adapt, resulting in increased muscle size and strength. So a better term for progressive overload might be progressive stimulus. According to research, the most effective way to grow muscle is by training to failure or near failure, regardless of the weight or number of repetitions. RIR, or reps in reserve, indicates how many repetitions you could still complete before hitting muscle failure. In other words, it's a measure of how many reps you could still perform with proper technique if you continued. For instance, an RIR of 2 means you stop the set with 2 reps remaining before reaching failure. In contrast, an RIR of 0 means you push yourself to full exhaustion during the set with no reps left in the tank, reaching complete failure. Research also showed that performing reps in the range of 6 to 20 reps will result in similar muscle growth, as long as you are training to failure or near failure. Therefore, to achieve muscle growth in the fastest and the most effective way, our goal should be to make each set as challenging as possible while maintaining proper form. In this approach, weight and reps are simply tools to ensure each set requires high effort and is sufficiently difficult. Based on this, hard sets are the primary driver for muscle hypertrophy. I am sure you have come across or even followed training plans like 3 sets of 12. However, these types of plans are incomplete because they don't provide guidelines on how to progress from workout to the next. So, many people rely on well-known progression scheme called double progression. If you haven't heard of it, I will explain now. So, how does the basic double progression method work? The concept is simple. You adjust 2 key factors as you progress in your training: weight and repetitions, while staying within a specific rep range. However, you must increase reps first before adding more weight. For example, let's say you are working within 8 to 12 rep range while performing 3 sets of squats. Your goal is to reach the upper limit of the rep range, which is here 12 reps for all 3 sets. Once you can do that, you can increase the weight in the next workout and repeat the process. Keep in mind that your form should remain consistent and you should avoid cheating to complete more reps. By maintaining proper form, you eliminate any variables that could affect your progress. Let's take a practical example of the double progression scheme using the squat exercise working in the 8 to 12 rep range. In the first workout, try to choose a weight with which you can perform about 12 reps, and then try to do as many reps as possible. In the first sets, you managed to hit 12 reps. Great! Keep the weight constant for all your next sets and try to hit 12 again in each set. In the second set, you lost some strength and you were only able to complete only 9 reps. In the third set, you managed 8 reps. Now, you will not increase the weight in the following training session because you couldn't complete 12 reps in all 3 sets. So in the second workout, you will keep the weight the same and aim to complete 12 reps in all 3 sets. In the first set, you managed 12 reps. In the second set, you got a bit stronger and completed 11 reps. And in the third set, you got 10 reps, which is still an improvement from the previous week. Again, you will keep the weight the same for the next session until you complete all 3 sets with 12 reps. In the third workout, you achieved 12 reps in both the first and second sets and 11 reps in the third. So you repeat the process in the next session. And finally, in the fourth workout, you were able to complete 12 reps in all 3 sets. Now you can increase the weight for the next workout. A 5% increase in weight is what I would recommend. Of course, with the heavier weight in the first set, you were only able to get 10 reps, and then 8 in both the second and third sets. We will keep repeating this process until you hit 12 reps in all 3 sets, and then we will add weight in the next session, just like in the 7th workout. The problem with this strategy is that it doesn't account for the rate of person's adaptation. You might also underdose the stimulus. Additionally, while the typical double progression approach makes sense in theory, in practice, things rarely progress in such linear fashion. Eventually, you will reach a point where your technique suffers as you push to achieve your self-imposed target reps, or you will fail to meet the target altogether. So, where do you go from there? Another issue with this progression scheme is that it fails to equalize effort across sets. If you are aiming for the same number of reps in all 3 sets, the third set will naturally be harder than the first, which you performed when you were fresh. This means you are not maximizing your effort in the initial sets, leaving many reps in the tank because you are limiting yourself to the upper end of the rep range. As we have discussed before, muscles can't count reps, nor can they see the weight. They require a high level of stimulus to adapt and grow, and that can only be achieved through hard sets with high effort, meaning training to failure or near failure. I am not saying that this basic double progression is useless. In fact, I believe it is a very good progression scheme for beginners, as it can be challenging for those new to training to fully grasp the concept of muscle failure or accurately gauge their effort during set. Additionally, beginners don't need to push themselves to failure, as their bodies will respond and grow with even minimal stimulus. At this stage, the primary focus should be on mastering proper exercise technique. With basic double progression, beginners can make excellent progress for a significant period until they hit a plateau. Once they gain some experience and reach a plateau, they can move on to the dynamic double progression scheme, which in my opinion is by far the most effective progression method for building maximum muscle in the shortest amount of time. So, what is dynamic double progression? Dynamic double progression is a method for increasing the weight and repetitions over time, where each set follows its own progression path. With dynamic double progression, you can still work with any rep range such as 8 to 12, but each set progresses independently as your body adapts. This allows you to increase either the weight or the number of reps as needed to maintain the same level of effort for each set individually. So now the concept shifts from I have to keep adding weight to get bigger and stronger to I have become bigger and stronger, so I need to add weight to keep my sets challenging. This is a significant mindset shift for most people, and it can take time to fully understand and implement. Before I explain the next example, if you found value in this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel to help it grow on YouTube. So, in the next example, I will assume training to failure, which means going all out without leaving any reps in the tank. I just want to give a small note that I will not use RIR or reps in reserve in the next example to keep the explanation as simple as possible. However, you can also use RIR aiming for anything between 0 to 2, especially if you are very advanced and have a great understanding of the RIR concept. And now, let's look at an example of the dynamic double progression scheme. We will do the squat exercise for 3 sets within the 8 to 12 rep range. In the first workout, you might not know exactly what weight to choose to get 12 reps. So you have estimated that you can do 100 kilograms for 12 reps. Now, it is important to forget about the specific number of reps and focus on using proper form. Do as many reps as possible and don't limit yourself to 12 reps. You went all out and completed 17 reps, which is outside the rep range. Perfect. Instead of waiting until the next week to increase the weight, you can immediately add weight in the next set, since the goal is to hit failure within the 8 to 12 rep range. You increased the weight by 5% and this time you got only 10 reps, which is in the middle of the rep range. Now you are fatigued and the number of reps will automatically drop for the third set. So we won't add more weight because we want to stay within the 8 to 12 rep range. You managed only 8 reps, which is the bottom of the rep range. In the next session, we will review each set from the previous week individually, and we will only increase the weight if you were able to hit the top of the rep range or more. For the first set last week, you completed 17 reps with 100 kg, which is above the targeted rep range. So this week we will increase the weight to 105 kg and do as many reps as possible. You hit 12 reps, perfect. For the second set last week, you got 10 reps with 105 kg. So we will use the same weight again and try to hit 12. This time you got 10 reps again. That means next week we will keep the weight the same for the second set. For the third set, we will still use the weight from the previous session, but you only completed 7 reps. No problem at all. Even you get 1 or 2 reps outside the rep range, it is not a big deal. You can keep the same weight for the next session as well, and simply repeat the process every workout. But sometimes life happens. You might be tired on a specific day because you didn't sleep well, or for any other reasons, and your numbers drop like in the 5th workout. In the first set, you managed only 8 reps, even though the previous week you hit 11. No big deal at all. However, since you only got 8 reps, which is the bottom of the rep range, with 110 kilograms in the first set, it is very likely that you won't be able to get 8 reps in the second set due to fatigue from the first set. So you should lower the weight for the second set. And don't think lowering the weight is a bad thing at all. As we discussed, the goal is to make every set challenging and do your best on each set that day. The objective is to stimulate the muscle, not to hit specific numbers. The rep ranges and weights are just tools we use to make sets hard and effective. So in the second set, after lowering the weight to 105 kg, you got 9 reps. Great, you can keep the same weight for the third set. Then you hit 8 reps. In the following workout, we will not increase the weight in any of the sets because we didn't reach the top rep range. Now the goal is to hit 12 reps or more on every set. In the first set, you managed 14 reps with 110 kilograms, which is fantastic. Don't stop at 12 if you can do more. For the second set, we will lower the weight to 105 kilograms because we didn't hit 12 reps in the last session with 105 kilograms, and so on. Of course, beginners can make progress with this method in every training session. However, as you become more advanced, progress will happen less frequently, maybe every 3 or 4 weeks. For advanced lifters, it may take months to add a couple of reps here and there or to slightly increase the weight. Surprisingly, I have followed this progression scheme since I started lifting without knowing anything scientific about it or its name. I only discovered its name and the science behind it when I moved from Egypt to Germany and studied sports science in the German Sport University Cologne. Over the years, I tried other progression schemes here and there. However, I always went back to the double dynamic progression scheme because it makes the most sense to me. And now I will share with you the 10 key points that you should consider when applying the dynamic double progression scheme. The first point is proper warm-up sets. Always perform proper warm-up sets before working sets without exhausting yourself. 5 or more RIR is a good estimate for warm-up sets. This prepares your muscles, joints, and nervous system for the heavier loads and reduces the risk of injury. The second point, work within a specific rep range. Choose a specific rep range such as 6 to 10, 8 to 12, 10 to 15 or more. The third point is independent progression for each set. Treat each set separately. Don't expect to progress all sets at the same time. Some sets may improve faster than the others based on your strengths and endurance. Point number 4, maintain consistent effort. Ensure that each set is performed with a similar level of effort. This may require reducing reps or weight on later sets if fatigue sets in. Point number 5, focus on quality form. Always prioritize technique over weight or reps. Dynamic double progression emphasizes progression while maintaining proper form throughout each set. Point number 6, avoid rushing to increase load. Prioritize completing the top rep range with a good form before increasing the weight. Only increase when you can comfortably perform each set within the desired rep range. Point number 7, adaptation-based progression. Increase weight based on how your body adapts over time. Don't force progress every session. Increases in weight and reps should happen organically as a result of new adaptations, not the other way around. Point number 8, increase weight by 2.5% to 10%. Beginners can start by increasing the weight by 5 to 10% increments if possible. As you become more advanced, you may find that increasing the weight by 2.5% to 5% increments is more realistic. Point number 9, track progress carefully. Keep a detailed log for your reps and weights for each set. This will help you know when to increase the load or reps and track your overall progress. And the last point, keep rest periods consistent. Try to keep rest periods the same between sets each time you train. This helps control all variables and ensures that changes in performance are due to actual progress, not differences in rest time. Of course, building muscle doesn't depend only on your training. Nutrition plays a very important role. Therefore, if you want to learn how to structure your diet for fat loss or muscle building, you can download my ultimate strategy for muscle building and fat loss completely for free. In it, I explain exactly how to stop your diet step by step, covering all the details you need to reach your fitness goals. You will find the link in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. For online coaching and consultations, please check out my website. I will leave the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.